How can I possibly get back on course? How can I possibly get back on course? Leftovers are a legitimate risk. If you have trouble staying on track the day before a holiday, the big event itself, and then getting back on track is even more arduous, especially if leftovers are everything that has to do with it. Leftovers from food surrounding a holiday, man. And all the goodies are now on sale at every supermarket around the corner. All that seasonal stuff is now on discount.
Then I'm buying.
So honing in on a plan is probably a good idea. Before this gets too gritty, it would be helpful to borrow from the vacation planning aspect, wherein having pre-made food for the days after whatever big event you have would, just like after vacation, make you getting back on track much easier. If you even get off to begin with, which there's really no need. You don't have to worry about going shopping or preparing food or anything like that after a big holiday or after a big event. You're gonna have the food prepared already. It's gonna be ready to roll. All you gotta do is consume it, maybe lightly heated or whatever if you're one of those people. It removes a lot of the limiting factor in terms of the labor of getting back on track, smooth sailing. So the more practical side of things, directly after the holiday or directly after your big event, it is beneficial to just embolden your friends and family to take most, if not all, of the leftovers. If you're part of the preparation and cleanup, then creating doggy bags ahead of time just to hand out as people go out the door makes the most sense. You're gonna have to save some leftovers for yourself if you feel like you need for the next day and the following days, and portion out the amount you're going to consume on a per meal basis like you would any other meal. Don't just fill bags with food and then hope for the best. Please, don't do it. Plan everything out ahead of time. Pre-portion the meals. No issue with that. If you're weird about food wastage during this time of year or any time of year, don't be. If there's food that you will not be able to work in consistently and stay on plan, you're better off just chucking it. If you can't pawn it off to someone else, which you will be, it's not worth the trouble. This is something that you can also just bring to work and leave there. Somebody will grab it. It's going to get wasted whether you consume it or whether you throw it away. Either way, it's a waste. A lot of this isn't just about the calories you consume, it's really about the habits that you reinforce. A bite here and a bite there isn't a big deal in terms of calories, but it is a huge deal in terms of reinforcing the behaviors that lead down a path that you don't want to go down. A few nibbles can turn into a bite, and before you know it, a bite turns into a big fat mess. There's no reason to take the risk. If you don't plan ahead, just plan ahead, be responsible, things will work out just fine. A little bit of pre-planning and you can have quite a good holiday experience in terms of not feeling guilty or full of shame or just generically feeling like crap, you know? That might mean putting a little bit of food down the garbage disposal if there's no effective way to work it in or nobody will take it. And if that's the case, there's a reason why it's going down the garbage disposal anyway. And that's something to note for next year when you get food prepared in terms of what people consume, right? It's wasted whether you consume it or whether it goes in the trash. So just have an obvious game plan for the days before a holiday and the big event, or the big, holidays and big events are the same thing to me. It's just a personal holiday versus a cultural holiday. The point is, during the day itself, not enough people focus on the fact that there's going to be some fallout and that the dust will settle and that there are still tons of triggers and temptations around post-holiday.
Don't do it.
It's just as important to plan around that time too, especially important because getting back on track after you schedule and habits and rituals have been thrown off with visitors and all sorts of other crazy stimulation, it may not be easier for you to get back on track even if you did follow a good plan. Even if it's just because turning your life upside down is inconvenient, so having a plan available for the day's post-holiday or big event is just as important, probably more important. Getting back on track is definitely the key to long-term success here. It is. Because being on track is easy, getting back on is difficult. Even if you are on track during the holiday per se, chances that your food choices and schedule were off are pretty high. So greasing the groove to get back to whatever normalcy you had in your life beforehand is the utmost importance, and the faster you can do that, the better. Remember, don't be afraid to pawn all the leftovers to everybody else. Prepare doggy bags for them, shove them in their faces as they walk out the door, bingo bango. Do you want some food for yourself? Perfectly fine. Make sure to create plates for yourself in portions that are reasonable for you. Have that set aside, easy peasy. There will definitely be some food left over that you will probably not be able to reasonably work in. That's okay, trash it. Remember, it's getting wasted whether or not you consume it. It's getting wasted if it goes in the trash. It's getting wasted if it goes in your mouth. Bingo bango. You're doing it. You can do it. Got it. Believe in you.